Sound check, sound check. Welcome back, everybody. It's Creative Redundancy back again. The one known as C.R. And welcome to this edition of P.R.E.P stream from me. Also, you know what that means. People, resources, environment, and preparedness. Chat. So hopefully everyone's doing well here. Let me just check on my side chat here. Hello, Uncle. Give me one sec. I was just checking on my sound. I was playing it on separate device ever since it happened to me. So hopefully everyone's doing well. And yes, everyone. Oh wait, I'll wait for that my loop to end here. It'll be stage drops. So I have my table out, ready to go. First and foremost, and P in PREP stands for people, the people out there, the life out there, right? Um, Try to keep some people in your fonts. I know. I think what the state of Iowa when had some things happen earlier in the week, a couple of twisters, tornadoes, storms, and stuff like that. And unfortunately, some people, I don't. I think some people didn't make it, unfortunately, and some people lost their homes and stuff like that. So keep them in your fonts, right? Those people in your fonts because I remember hearing about it while I was in a live stream. We were talking about it for a while. I was just like, yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone directly, but I knew people indirectly, you know, people that I associate with on our live streams, and they were telling us during the live stream. I was just like, oh, that sucks. That's definitely no joke. I think I've seen some of the videos, and the destruction, devastation, and all of that stuff. I mean, I guess this is one many reasons to prepare because stuff happens, unfortunately. The environment itself can kind of not always send us sunshine. Sometimes it storms, right? So preparedness can help, at least during the storm, right? And you be more proactive, right? At least do something a little bit more positive to help you out. Let's see what I have here. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely something right there. Yeah, when I was I'm reading about it on the side chat. I remember um, one of the side chat people were saying that their auntie and their cousin or something supposedly said they lost everything, including their home. I mean, that's just that's just yeah. I mean, we don't get the tornadoes like you guys down in the U.S. per se in terms of frequency, duration, and what's that word? On the enhanced Fujitsu scale of stuff. However, I do know that they happen here too. I know they do. I know they do. It's just a little bit more rare. However, it does happen, unfortunately, right? And of all the things I prepare for, that's one of the things I prepare for. And yes, Uncle, I read your post about the safety hat, right? Yeah, head injuries and stuff like that, right? Getting hit by debris and stuff like that. I mean, I'm working on an actual helmet portion, at least something to give me at least hopefully better odds if that ever occurred. I know some people in the U. Some places in the U.S., some places out there, you don't have a subfloor or a basement to get into, let alone a storm shelter, right? So do what you can. I mean, it sucks for them, that's for sure. Going through going through pain like that, right? Unknown and stuff like that. Well, losing the resources that you have in your home and the home itself, but the people, the people that were around you, all right, your neighbors, your family that lives down the street, for example, right? That that would be very, very hard to deal with. We'll go through. I mean, so let's remember those people, right? And that's why I keep doing what I do because, well, it's something I can actually do, something I can actually be more proactive about as much as possible. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that's good to hear, Uncle. Yeah, yes. But so going into the resources here, so obviously the gear, the physical resources, and the resources that go along with the resources, the physical resources, right? The people power, aka manpower, and all that stuff. And first and foremost, of all the resources out there, we have on here that we share on this world, right? Probably the most important thing is this. Not the metal container, but what's in this water. And yes, I actually do have water in there. I gotta finish this off, but water. Water is probably one of the single most important resources we have. You know, the, the rule of threes involved into it, uh, and such. I mean, water equals life. We don't got any gardens without this stuff. Water. You don't go more than a few days without this stuff. Water. One of you gardeners out there, right? Let me bring this into frame here. You got no plants without water. Even the cactus, in time, needs some water. Even the most heat uh, tolerant, drought tolerant plant out there, still in time needs water. Right? I mean, my cup's empty if I don't have water in here to make the coffee. No coffee without water. Everyone, all right? I mean, one of the reasons why I store water is so I can actually have coffee, even if situations or the outcome of certain events becomes a little bit more, well, let's just say when it goes south. Because I mean, it's one thing to have this and that, but without the water, you're not going too far without it. I just showed the metal water bottle here. We can go grab some from the bag here. You know, there's a bottle of water right here. Bottle of water right here, for example, right? Yeah, see, technically it's still in date for the end of the year. let me put this back. I don't usually grab a lot of bottled water, right? Just because I'm not a big fan of drinking out of it, but I do have some. Just because, especially in a backpack or something like that, because it's important to have water. You know, with water you can keep going. Water can cool you down when it's warmer, hotter outside. I mean, I've walked at times and I've rationed the water too much, and I actually, because it was like 30 some degrees out. It might have been closer to that 90 Fahrenheit zone, probably 88 Fahrenheit. But yeah, one of the lessons I learned, because I was walking back on a dark paved road with minimal shade, very minimal shade, right? For over an hour at least, right? And one of the lessons I learned: don't ration water too much. Water is better in your system and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was fine after I had some water afterwards. But one of the lessons I learned, I'm like, yeah, that's no joke. I mean, you know, I I wouldn't say I was getting like a dehydration headache, but I could feel my head pounding a little bit more than like how I feel right now. Right, I was in a normal state, but as soon as I had some water after, hydrated back up, I felt refreshed again. You know, it's like when you're sick and you wake back up, or the next day you feel so much 10 times better. That kind of feeling. I was just like, oh, so the stuff that they talk about when you have dehydration headaches or headaches because you haven't drunk water and you're overheated. I was like, I had a little taste of that. I'm like, oh, that's the kind of pain and throbbing headache that they talk about. And I'm like, oh, that is definitely something I don't want to go through again. Okay, skateboard or bike helmet would work. Yeah, at least it would give you something to a little bit more protection. I mean, honestly, certain things are hitting you would still hit you hard in a situation like that. But a rock or something like that flying through there, a little less of an impact. That's for sure. Yeah. So, like I said, water. I mean, this is why I store water. And speaking of which, I'm actually going to drink some right now while I'm at it. This is actually one of my standard bottles I have. You can see I got some cordage around here. I just have a hair tie. That way I can just put it over my wrist and dangle it in my hand, for example. Especially if I'm walking and trekking along, it's by me, and I can feel how much water I have left. One of the things about wearing I don't do the whole water bladder thing in a backpack or in a bag. Is because sometimes you can't tell how much you have left because you can't physically see how much water you have. I mean, you could tell by the weight, but I can look inside and be like, how many sips of water do I still have? I probably have two big gulps right here of water. I'm working on that, Uncle Al, by the way. I'm working on that. I'm still working on that for what I have and the resources that I have and the funds I have available to put towards preparedness, right? I mean, you know what I do here on this channel. People, you see the videos I put out, right? I mean, I try to use stuff the best I can. I'm, I mean, for anyone that doesn't see this era where I refilled some water, a water container that used to have water in it, right? That's what I'm trying to use is water containers to refill water that already had water inside, actual clean water inside. So those coolers that you get at the your like at a business or whatever, that dispense water, you put a cup underneath, you get a drink of water. That's what I'm aiming towards. Now I know there's these kind of block things that you can get that are like stackable, but obviously that's purchase. That's a something that has to be purchased, right? And of course, not everyone has the funds or the income to purchase something like that, you know, or maybe purchase more than one, right? Because obviously, if you're stacking these water bricks, as they're called, you're probably stacking. I forget how many liters or gallons of capacity they have, but I mean, you probably don't want more than just one or two, right? So that price would add up in time for however expensive or how much it is. Yeah, let's just say it was $10 a brick or whatever. You still have to put the water inside, and you're probably buying more than just one. I mean, it's better to have some water than no water at all, right? Some water to start with. I mean, this is why I'm a big proponent of starting with water. Let me grab something here. Actually, sticking into the room. That's why. Let me just I have this in the room. Alright. I can't even fit this in the frame. I can't fit this in the frame because my tripod's not that high up compared to the table. But yeah, here's a backpack right here. Alright. And one of the things right away, and I'll show you guys right away, is this is, like I said, water is an important resource. Let me just get this out. Actually, here's another container of water right here. I do make sure that I do have water to go in these bags as much as possible for what it is. Because I rather start off with water and then instead of having no water and having to source it out or seek it out, right? Because depending on situations, in terms of preparedness, right? Water, you know, I'll give an example here. Something like what happened in Iowa, right? I mean, like, the infrastructure is down. Well, the contamination from, like, you know, everything that flew around, for example, right? Some of those water sources that you might have sourced out, like a lake, a river, or something like that, may have contamination inside of it on it now, debris, oil, you name it, it might be out there, right? I rather know that, okay, I can start off at least with some clean drinking water right away and start off. At least it would buy me a little bit more time, right? Because if you don't have water to start with and you need to source it out, and depending how long it takes and where you have to go get it, that countdown timer is counting down, right? Because it's only a couple days without drinking some water. So at least some water is better than none, at least to start with. And yes, there is actually water here. And you can actually see some water in here. I'll probably cycle this out. I'll probably drink this today and then cycle it with fresh water I have. Try to keep it fresh as much as possible. But I try, if the bags don't actually have a bottle of water, and I have a canteen with actual water. So if you don't want to do the whole water bottle thing because you don't want to drink out of plastic, whatever, right? Go for a canteen, a metal canteen, something like that. Because I know some people don't want to drink out of plastic or whatever, support this or that, right? I get that, but you still need water in terms of the preparedness, right? Or even environmentalism. Water's still important. Well, you just gotta have it. Hi, Therese. Hi, Teresa. What's up, Dan? I see you in there. Sorry, let me get back into my thing. You have an intermittent bulk containers, 275 for 30 gallons and a catalytic tank. Okay. 15 tons. Okay. I mean, even, you, let's say an IBC toad or like a water barrel full of water. Let's say if it's rainwater or what's it's still, rainwater would probably still be better than a lake that's been contaminated, for example, because the unknown factors like that. Let's see where we are. I mean, Herbert T. Dan, I do have a container. Now, it is not opaque. It is slightly translucent, so it does let light in. But this is why, like I said, I forget if I said it in my own stream or a different stream. You might have heard me say it, but I actually cover it with a dark garbage bag, so it's dark, so it doesn't allow light in, and I keep it in a cool, dry place. And it's actually kind of inside, so it's not outside, because I can't actually keep water outside during the winter. I mean, in minus 22 Fahrenheit, minus 30 Celsius, I gotta get it would just freeze right away. So I'm not keeping that something like that in a shed outside in a garage or something like that because I just I don't want to take that chance. That's definitely not what I want to do. Is blow bulge out the water container because it's frozen, especially with that much water. Let's say 55-gallon drum full of water, or something like that, it's done pretty solid. I mean, I would have to either keep it well below ground or in a climate controlled kind of area that's above freezing. So I do what I can. I do what I can. Yes. I. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. The thing about surface water is because there's runoff. This is where the environmental side comes along, right? You're gonna remember runoff, right? Water once it hits the ground, it starts to pick up stuff off the ground. Not just dirt, but anything that's been on the ground, whatever it is. It could be chemical or anything like that. Not just biological stuff, right? Hence, something like boiling water, right? Where you have a metal vessel, fire underneath, you dangling with a tripod or whatever. I mean, that's one thing if it's like, a stream that you're uncertain of and something like that. But after, like, let's say tornado, hurricane, or something like that, it's probably not gonna cut it. Probably, I probably know it's not gonna cut it because you don't get contamination like runoff, or because the hurricane comes in from the ocean side, like from storm surge and all that stuff, the wind blowing the ocean water towards the shore. You don't get um, mineral, salt contamination, right? You don't get that infiltration of salt water into that fresh water. And it's not mixed around, and you don't have salts that are mingling with the fresh water. And everyone knows you can't really drink salt water, because in time it's not dehydrate you in time, right? Among some other things that could be in there, like oil from vehicles, right? All sorts of things. I mean, I'm not even talking about the chemical aspect of it, right? So yeah, I get what you mean, Uncle. Snowbelt seal one, okay. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. There's chemical runoff and all that stuff, pesticide use, herbicide type of uses, right? There could be, you know, stuff that came off roofs and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that. Pollen that it would be okay to drink, but yeah, not so much if you want to make some tea or coffee with it, right? So boiling is never always it's an option, but it's not the only option to consider, right? Sometimes you just gotta know what's actually contaminated in the water if you can find out. I mean, like I said, if it's a hurricane coming through and pushing storm surge, ocean water towards the shore and inland, it's gonna pick up a lot of stuff, and there's gonna be salt within that water. Where some of those commercial water filters out there may not be able to handle something that extreme. Because some of these commercial water filters, no name brands specifically, we all know what they call. There's plenty out there, right? Some of these don't are not meant to handle salt water contamination, like runoff, right? Chemical contamination, maybe even heavy metals that are kind of partially dissolved or mingling into in the water, And clarity of water doesn't mean anything, all right? Because there's things like dissolved minerals like salt that you wouldn't be able to see, all right? You can't see bacteria protozoa in the water, not without a microscope or something like that, right? You can't see it with your naked eye. So just because, and especially in certain situations, just because the water's clear does not mean it's safe to drink, you know? Honestly, the cooler, if there's less debris in it, like sand, salt, or sand, salt, debris in it, there's less spots for the microbes to be attached or spores to be attached into the water. But, you probably want to make sure it's clean, safe to drink. And this is why I'm a big proponent of, try to have water in your, or anyone that has some sort of emergency kit, which will come into the preparedness part, some sort of the go bag, evacuation bag, whatever you want to call this, kind of get home, like whatever you want to call it, right? I'm a big, huge proponent of now always carrying some water, regardless of the time of year, right? Because without the water, in a couple days, you're done, right? You're done. Maybe even less, especially if it's hotter or you're exerting yourself hard, right? Because you think about like some of these things that happen, situation or whatever. One of the most important resource that people wish they had more of or had a better source of is probably going to be water. I mean, and water is one of those resources you cannot. There's no substitution for water, real water. All right, there's no substitution for it, and we all need it. And like I say in some of the live streams at times on the side chat, water equals life. Without it, yeah, it's pretty much game over. All right, you only have a couple days to source some out before you, well, metaphorically shrivel away. Let me see here. Where are we at? I see you, Billy Bird. Yeah, I at least. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got bottled water too because I'm trying to not just stick with what I have here, right? I try to do this whenever possible, right? Just because I don't want to keep using bottled water all the time, right? And there's secondary uses for a metal container, something like this, right? I re- I mean, I know some people prefer a bottle of water because the container's gonna be lighter. They can reuse it. Maybe attach it to their water filter that they have to filter in water through the can because it screws on the top. Let me actually go get something here. Should have actually got the pump out earlier. And I appreciate the person who, well, I wanted to give away, gifted this to me. Yes, yes. One of these, you would screw it on the bottle if it fits in, and you would filter the water or use it like an inline filter with a hose or something like that, right? But these have their limitations. You know, they're not meant for salt water. They're not meant for heavy contamination, like heavy metals. Probably not on remove pesticides. These are more for biological bacteria, protozoa, for example, right? I mean, I remember who was it? I'm trying to remember. But anyways, they were helping hurricane relief effort after a hurricane hit their state, and I actually left an encouraging community board post about it. But one of the things that they said was they had filters, right? They had filters and stuff like that, but nothing to deal with the actual contamination, what's coming, right? Probably salt water, for example, heavy metals and stuff like that. And like I said, something like this isn't untied. This is like something you would use in the backcountry, right? With over a lake or running stream or something like that. Not some sort of storm surge type of water coming through or quote unquote sewage contaminated water, right? Because if you think about it, storm surge when it comes in, it starts, and like rainwater don't go through a sewer, right? But there's that backflow that keeps pushing it up, and in time, you get the sewers become overwhelmed with too much water, and it seeps back up to the surface, and that water becomes heavily, heavily contaminated. I mean, like you would need a really good filter, not just this, but something really, really good. Something that has reverse osmosis or something like that to do something with that to even attempt to make it that cleaner. Now let's see, where am I at? Can you extract the water from a stream process? I think you can. Yes. Oh, yes and no, Herbert. Yeah, okay. What's up, Billy Bird? You have to earthquake, yeah, yeah, and bottle more in the house just for in your house and car just for emergency. Not for everyday consumption. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I gotcha. You got a condenser, Uncle? Cool, cool. It can stay in a subduction zone every rupture's hand, and yes, he was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now it'll definitely be the headline on the news. That's for sure. Can I say? Okay, there. Hold on. I laughed so hard that I kind of got some water over my screen. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Good point, Uncle. Water purification, water tablets, something like that. Now, again, those will not remove chemical or heavy metals, right? They're meant again for biological contamination, right? To kind of, you know, like what's uh, oh, I there's iodine, there's hypochlorite, obviously there's pool shark, chlorine, bleach, right? I mean, a couple drops per liter. I think that's the going rate. Obviously the dirtier the water, you might need a little bit more, right? You know, but yeah, yeah, those water purification type of tablets. Yeah, actually, if I think the bleach is supposed to what it's supposed to do is cause it to kill what's in the water, right? That could potentially. I think that's what it's supposed to do, right? Because I know. Oh, yeah. Because there's also a UV type of thing that's possible too, but that just makes it sterile, right? So they can't reproduce. So you'll have less numbers of microbes in the water that could possibly get you sick in time. I mean, I've heard of you know. Actually, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I'm definitely. What kind of live stream is this? This is oh, it's something to wet your whistle with. apparently, apparently, I haven't done one of these for a while, but I want to make a point about this. Like I said, especially about the resources, especially the water, especially the water, especially the water. I know right now some places down south are going through like some heat and stuff like that. Really, really hot, right? I know. At least you garden, right? So you're familiar with, like I said, if you don't water your garden or it doesn't rain or you don't get some sort of precipitation hitting, infiltrating and soaking into the soil, the plants are just not making it. It's just gonna shrivel up and just turn brown, and that's it. All right, and some random OMG, right? Some random OMG. Because I remember the one of the other times I was talking to about in streams on a similar topic, right? I had some Canadian followers. I follow here both on the YouTube and on Instagram. We were just talking about the water thing for a long time. I mean, because it's really important, right? I mean, for all you coffee drinkers out there, you don't get any coffee. You're not drinking any coffee without that water, right? That's why I store some water. That way I can actually have something like this, coffee, or if you're a tea drinker, or you want to use those electrolyte type of mixes that's in your bag. Well, you're gonna need some water to go along with that because it's kind of dry to just not have it with water. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. So it doesn't matter if you're dripping your coffee grounds into something like this. I mean, coffee grounds, the water into something like that, right? You still gonna need some clean water, relatively speaking, to consume it, right? Or anyone that goes camping, right? We'll kind of relate this in. One of the heavier or bigger bulkier things that you tend to carry in, especially if there's no local source like a river, like blah blah blah, right? Is you're probably gonna have to trick water in, right? Especially if the campsite, doesn't provide it or whether you're gonna have to trick the water you need for the duration of the camping trip, right? I mean, the times that I've gone camping and stuff like that, one of the things is like, okay, guys, who's gonna carry the water? You can see ours since you just suggested it. I'm like, why did I bring that up? All right. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'll be like this, like, because water is a heavy thing, right? 8.8 pounds per gallon, give or take, right? It's gonna be a heavy thing, right? So I'm always like walking it. Let me use a cup here as an example. If this was a big container of water, 8, 10, 16 pounds, whatever, right? I'd be like, I wouldn't be carrying it. I'd just be walking it on the ground, slowly bringing it to our campsite, right? Try to use less energy when doing it. Or if possible, try to roll it, right? I know there is these, I've seen them in these documentary type of videos where people that, for example, third world countries or whatever, that actually have to source out their water from somewhere, bring it to a location because obviously, no modern conveniences like plumbing, right? They actually roll the water because it's more energy efficient to do that. You use less energy, you're burning less of energy doing it, and you're sweating less, right? You're not using a whole bunch of water to cool off while you're actually trying to move water like, let's say, a kilometer, 0.62 miles away, right? Anyone tried to carry water that far? Especially like that's something over a gallon at least, you know? Yeah. So they trying to work more efficiently and trying to do stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. That too. Yeah, pre-filtering does help. And welcome to this dimension. I'm not looking at it, but right. Yeah, right. Remember, remember, it's just a matter of time, right? In time, there could have been just, or it wasn't enough to make you sick, right? But I think in a real world scenario, right, without something to fall back on, right? You probably still had a vehicle. You probably could have still got help if necessary, or you could have went back home if necessary, right? But in an emergency, I think, like I said, in a lot of these real world scenarios that actually have happened, even recently, right? I think, or you're lost, or, you know, let's just say, hypothetical, you're away from civilization, but you can't just, and it's gonna take days and days to walk out, right? You find a water source, you're probably gonna want to make sure you try to do whatever you can to make it safer to drink, right? Because if you get knocked down in a couple of days, and let's just say it's gonna take you at least days to walk out, and you have to do it like that for whatever reason, right? I don't think you want to be down from, oh, my stomach hurts, right, or something like that, or something along the lines of that, or let alone dehydration, diarrhea that causes you to lose even more water, right? Because that's gonna really slow down your walking progress. You're gonna be like, oh, I should have did more with this water to make it maybe a little bit better or safer to drink. All right. Maybe I should have ran it through a filter a little bit more. Maybe I should have boiled it. Maybe I should have sourced out this water better, right? So always trying to make sure you source out water really, really well whenever possible. This is why if you do carry some water, you don't have to just rely on the first source you see because you didn't have any. Why are you good? Oh, I still have a bottle of water. I've sourced up this, but I don't like it. I can come back to it if I want to, but let's try. a kilometer away, maybe there's a better source of water that's, a little bit more less contaminated. Yeah, you could do something like that and let it naturally settle down. But that's still only going to remove the larger particles, con- larger, larger particles in the water, right? Dirt, things that will eventually settle out, right? It's gonna take a long time for bacteria or anything like that to settle out, and you're still not gonna be able to notice that, right? Because we can't see it with the naked eye. You can't see protozoan bacteria microbes with the naked eye, right? We can only see that stuff under a microscope, 30x. So unless you're carrying around a microscope with you, you probably want to make sure that's treated well, right? You know, and I'm talking about biological contamination, right? So you're in the backcountry, something like that, right? So you have a source to make it safer to drink. Just give me one moment here. Okay, sorry. I had to make sure my phone's still charging, so I don't get a little battery indicator randomly on me. Yeah, yeah. See, exactly. There's an example right here from you right there. Yeah, and that happens, right? It can happen, unfortunately, right? As well versed we are with areas and stuff like that, stuff happens. You trip over something, you sprain an ankle, it's gonna take a little bit longer just to walk out, right? You're kind of hobbling it out or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, there's an example right there. I appreciate you sharing that example. What's up, Jay? How are you doing, man? Hope you and your girlfriend are doing well. And obviously the rest of you people out there, right? You know, I hope you, I hope you feeling a little bit better. I remember what you said on my last stream, so hopefully it's a little bit better for you. And that's the truth. I mean, truth. Sorry, I had to throw some humor into this. Like I said, this is gonna be more serious of a chat, but I'm trying to throw in some humor every so often to diffuse the tension every so often, right? You know. Now, I'm gonna bring something else out here as I go into that kind of eat more into the resources, environmental side, and the preparedness side of this chat. Hence, that's why it's called a P.R.E.P stream. That's an acronym, by the way. Right? Everything here. That's important. Now, and this will probably even relate into this kind of hypothetical situation, like I said, that you sprained an ankle or something like that. Something to wrap your ankle with. So, obviously, I'm talking about first aid type of items. Here's just something I have in the bag. Okay? Just something to wrap your ankle, provide tension, right? For example. So, I have something like this. I know, Uncle Al, you would say something like a triangular bandage and stuff like that. I should actually have one in this bag, actually. Yeah, I do have one in this bag. So, so something like, I'll say this is a bandage type of thing, right? I'll say this is a big thing, right? This is meant for like some a large, large cut for whatever it is, right? You know, that's something I have, right? Useful to have just in case, right? Right? Sometimes injuries happen, or you're in pain or something like that, so something like that helps. And yes, not sponsored, endorsed, or affiliated by this brand, but it just happens to work in with this P.R.E.P stream, but I just happen to have that. I'm just saying. It just happens to have C in it. But yeah, it's just one of the things I have. I just have it in a baggie amongst some other things here. Actually, I need to check the date on that. Yeah, it's just something I have. give myself a little bit more than just plain water. Right? Maybe some electrolytes, the especially if it's hot out, right? Because also you're going to lose electrolytes every time you sweat, perspire, and all that stuff, right? And you do need the electrolytes to go along with the water, right? Because they'll hydrate you up, kind of rejuvenate you, or you'll you'll feel fresh. It'll be more refreshing. All right, take care, Uncle. All the best to you. Hey, Baba. Shalom. How are you doing? How are you doing? Nice to see you. I appreciate you taking the time to drop by the way. How's the missus doing? Hopefully she's doing well too. You're getting rain there? Well, I guess on the bright side, at least it's not really hot, right? The rain will cool you down. Hopefully you're staying dry out there, Jay. Maybe you're using that umbrella randomly. Actually, speak of umbrella. Why not? Stage props, right? Maybe just randomly. Okay, it's not the fit and frame, obviously. And remember, I have shown umbrellas in the past on the channel. Yeah, there's an umbrella right there. I'm actually supposed to have a chance of rain today, so I might actually need this umbrella a little bit later on. It might be useful, especially when I have to like move some water around and stuff like that. Hmm. Let's see, where am I at? Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. If need be, right? It'll give me something to work with, something that I know that's clean, more or less a little bit more sterile. Right? Yeah, I got something like that too. I got something like that too. Just you know, I don't nothing too specific, right? I just had to. It's just something I have in a little baggie. I've written down stuff for it. Just some acetaminophen. I'm not that sure. We all know what painkillers are and all that stuff, right? I automatically mark a date on it. That way I know when to rotate it out, right? So if you have anything with prescription stuff that you have to take, right? Always mark that down. Try to make sure if you do bring some with you or do stash some away for a rainy day or an emergency, make sure you label it correctly, and put that kind of better before date on, right? And relay the and kind of have that information that would be originally with the bottle, right? Especially if you're not using an original bottle for whatever reason, right? Because that's important, right? Because remember, everyone, you could be incapacitated and someone else is using said kit or items in said bag, or you're unable to talk or something, whatever the reason is, right? So clearly labeling stuff makes it easier for anyone else that actually has to use that or help you with that, if that makes any sense. And there's less confusion, right? Because the last thing you want is to be like, I didn't label these two things, and I don't. They look exactly the same on the physically. This look the same, but I know they're different, but I can't tell which one is which. Yeah, I don't want to play chance or play 50-50 with something like that, right? I rather know for sure whenever possible. That's good to hear, Pablo. Oh yeah, yeah, Willow. Yeah, 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 yeah. I haven't tried that out personally, but I've heard about stuff like that. I've been hearing about that because I know in the bushcrafting community and even in the gardening community, they kind of talk about that. So that's good. Hopefully, I'm pointing everyone into the right direction. Let me just pin this comment here for a moment here. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Now, I think it's about time. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna talk about food. Oh, Sierra's done talking about food. Yes, yes, yes. Food, all right? Next to water and feeling safe and, taking care of yourself and all that stuff. Food is kind of less a priority, but in time, especially in a long-term situation, in time, you need to regather your energy that you're consuming every time you move around, right? Because every time we're moving around, even in stationary or even at rest, we're still burning energy, right? In the wintertime, you'd be burning a lot more energy to keep warm, right? If you don't have the energy to shiver, well, you know what's gonna happen, right? It's gonna be a really cold night, right? So you need energy, some sort of food energy to keep warm with, right? And it goes the same in time from these other things, right? You need food energy to think. You need food energy to do stuff, to move around, right? To do these tasks that you might have to do, whatever it is, right? Move stuff around and stuff like that. Help people out if you do something like that. So honestly, let me grab an example here. I'm actually grabbing an example from a bag that I actually do have. Now I just happen to have this, right? Some food energy right here. This ain't so bad for what it is. It's fairly lightweight for what it is. Obviously this isn't the most nutritious thing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely not the most nutritious thing. That's for sure. Right? But it'll give me some caloric intake right there. You can see, and stuff like that. Fairly lightweight. I might still need to drink water afterwards. Because obviously food does require water to digest. Right. So if you're dehydrated or haven't drunk water for a very long time, right? Before you eat anything, you need to source out food because as soon as you might feel hungry too, but water basically to consume food in your stomach, you need water to help consume it, right? I think things like enzymes and stuff like that need that water, for example, right? So make sure you do have some water while you're eating, especially in a time of emergency or stuff like that. That's very, very important, right? Hence, a lot of people drink water while they're eating food at home, right? Or something like that. And besides, some of the food out there, because I don't have an example of it because I've already consumed it. There's these ration bars that you can have food ration bars that are as hard as a brick. Some of them can be subdivided out and stuff like that. I managed to try one because I want is part of a giveaway that I won one back a while ago. I had to try it back in 2021 because it was actually kind of reaching that kind of time. It's better before this kind of date, right? I tried it out and it was like, yeah, what they say online, what other people say in their videos is kind of true. It's kind of dry. I felt like I still needed to drink some water after just to get it down, right? I was like, yeah. So something like that, you definitely want water with it, right? However, that kind of stuff can kind of handle a little bit of cold or heat, right? A little bit more, I wouldn't say shelf stable, but at least it would be able to, you know, go for a little bit longer. You could keep it in a bag for a little bit longer period of time, for example. No. Look at my description, please. I'm no expert in this. I'm just one that just trying to do something better, trying to be proactive. I'm paraphrasing what I have in the description right now. Yes. No. I am just someone trying to be more proactive. Trying to be more proactive and realizing stuff happens, unfortunately. Just give me a sec. I need to change all the setting here because apparently my headset's almost dead. But oh, so I have to transfer the mic back to the phone in time. Right, keeping going here. Okay, blah blah. I read it. Let's see. You have some sort of power bank charger in your kit or something like that. I think it's one of those things to me. I'll bring it if I need to bring it for that time. Because if you don't have any tech in your bag that needs it, right? If you don't have the cables in your bag to charge said device, let's say your smartphone or whatever, I mean, it's just excess weight. Because, hold on, hold on here. Oh, I just have something on here. Here's a 10,000 milliamp one. Because remember, this has a fixed weight. The net you can consume the power, but the weight is always going to remain pretty much remain the same, right? Because if it's dead, it's just empty weight in your bag. And if you don't have the cables to go along with that, right? It doesn't matter if I have the phone and this. No cable means I'm not able to move the energy from here into a phone, into a flashlight, or something along the lines of that. So I will I will add it to the top of the bag, especially if I'm doing certain things. You know, I'm recording it. I'm camping or something like that. I'll add it onto the top of the bag. It just doesn't always stay in that bag though, right? Because in time I need to charge them up. In time I need to maintain the charge on it, right? So I would just grab it on the way out. That way I can double check to make sure I have my charging cable, which I'm using right now. I would show it, but it's right here. See? It's right there. Let's see. Yeah, trail mix, something like that, yeah. I will stay creative. You should have a phone to call or tell, so mini power bank is a good idea, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Especially if the grid's up, the phone lines are up and stuff like that. Oh, I know some of them do, so that's an option right there to consider on getting if you don't have one already. And you can just add that in. Now, again, that cable, even if it's attached, has to work with the devices that you have in that bag with your phone or whatever, right? Because if it's incompatible, because let's face it, there's different chargers, adapter pieces, end pieces to connect to said device, right? Also, the other end's gonna be a USB at the end, but the other side could be a Lightning, USB C, blah blah blah, micro, mini, on and on and on, right? So it just depends what you have, right? All right, because obviously the one end's always gonna look like this, clearly, obviously, but the other end, yeah. I mean, you could probably get an adapter to help you run with that if you have multiple different devices with different input ends or male input ends. Yeah, I just said that. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool, Elise. That's cool. That's cool. I know there's these ones that you can just they're magnetically attached, right? That could be an option too. But as the tech changes over time, you might have to upgrade that, right? Because you know, said phone or said phone later, said device later that you get later may have a newer connection port and taking this new connection, and that other stuff is just legacy, outdated, becoming obsolete kind of deal. So you may have to upgrade to something else, for example. I mean, I use USB power banks and stuff like that. I'm actually some of these smaller ones I have. I just been topping them off just so they're ready to go. I mean, these are just small ones I have. They're under 5,000 milliamp hours. They're just something I would bring for a day if I needed that extra little charge on the road, right? But if I'm going camping or I'm doing something that's I know is gonna take more, I'm gonna be away longer than an overnighter, and let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Yeah, I'm gonna bring a much larger battery bank, right? And hopefully have a way to recharge it. Hopefully, hopefully, right? And by the way, everyone, coming back to the people and resources, oh, and the environmental side and the preparedness side, let's just say, I'm gonna go get something here. I'll share something with you guys. I don't think I've shared this yet. You're probably like, hey, CR, I don't have the money for that, right? Or whatever. Keep your eyes peeled, because you never know what you might find outside. Hmm. You never know what you might find outside. I wonder. Oh, by the way, I found this, by the way. And yes, that's a USB out for that. And yes, I have tried it. It's not the largest capacity, but it's a resource that was found in the environment, and it'll help you in on the preparedness side. So yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? There is resources out there that are useful. Hey, what's up, Mike? I see you. At least it's something to recharge your battery. Get it? Recharge your system battery. Like I said, look, for anyone that doesn't know, that I like to quote unquote scavenge, right? Hence why you see these. What resources do I have in this big kind of resource hall, right? Yeah, that's why I have that, right? While other channels out there do hauls with things that they buy or these anti-haul things, I have hauls that are free, found off the resources found off the landscape, right? You know, and I do them for multiple reasons. Actually, I make sure I scavenge, re. I shouldn't even say reclaim, but I managed to repurpose and get these resources back into the useful state for two reasons, and they involve what this channel, what this stream's about. That's why it's a P.R.E.P stream for me. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, this is why I changed, because I used to do them as, show them as a scavenging type of thing, but I changed that out for two reasons. Because sometimes I don't always have the phone with something to record with, or it's in the middle of somewhere really busy, or I don't have the camera angle, right? I mean, if I find something in the middle of the road, I'm not gonna stand by and record at that area. Unless it's way too dangerous for what it is, and people would probably honk and yell at me. And yeah, I'm trying to avoid that kind of hassle as much as possible. So yeah, coming back. Oh yeah. Anyways, I got derailed by like battery talk. Oh, I see Hugo's in there. What's up, CB? How's it going? Virtual fist bump. Boom. Oh wait, virtual fist bump. Bim. So yes, food, right? I mean, I'll show you guys something. I'll show you guys something. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm actually ultimately going to do with this, right? And it is what it is. Relate back into what I was just talking about, and randomly I'm gonna give a sneak peek on something else that may appear later on, right? Let me just roll this in. Oh, roll this in. Yeah. How you been, CB? Yeah, I get it. Here's a when you think of food, obviously one of the first things you might think of is a can of food, right? In terms of emergency preparedness, right? Prepping in general, right? A pantry of stuff like canned goods, right? relatively easy for most people to attain, relatively, easy to store, it's stackable, decent shelf life for what it is and stuff like that, right? Oh, and yes, look at this. That they says 12th November 2026. That's at least about 2.5 years out. At least before, you know, maybe something like the quality of the food, texture, flavor, nutrition value starts to go down, right? It's better before they. Oh, by the way, everyone, I found this. I found that, by the way. I found that, by the way. And it would not be the first time I've seen this. It's not the first time I've seen it, right? Now, obviously, if you don't like the food, it's one thing. You should always try to eat what you store what you want to eat, right? But sometimes you gotta be less picky, right? I mean, I don't mind beans. It's not my go-to, but in a jam, I will probably still consume it. It wouldn't be as bad as some other things, right? There's probably worse things to consume than just beans. I was about to say something, but I won't say it. But you know what I mean. But yeah, this is just something I actually found this, by the way. That was not purchased by me, right? And you could see that's still in date or still good, right? Even even if I didn't want to eat this or whatever, I can still give this to like the food bank or something like that and help someone else out, for example, right? Because right now, in my opinion, I feel like a brand coming on, right? And I've mentioned this before, is that right now we don't try to avoid food waste, right? Some people out there that are kind of more hungry, right? They'd be like, "Hey, see, I like baked beans," right? They don't mind it, right? But for some reason, they can't get food like that, or whatever the reason is. I know some of you might agree with that. So right now is not the time to waste food. By the way, yeah, I have this other thing that I've seen before. It would not be the first time I've seen something like this. Hopefully, it'll be and it probably won't be the last time I see it. Right? Unfortunately, I see it still. I'm just like, you know, I always say if you're truly hungry, you'll almost eat anything at times, right? But if you're turning down some food, you're probably not that hungry because I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously gonna be heavy for a backpack, right? This is probably something you're gonna keep at home, right? Something you would shelter in place with, right? Kind of hard to kind of be on the road, on the move with something like this because also this is quite heavy in comparison to other things, right? Something like freeze dried, dehydrated type of stuff. Also, in terms of moving with that kind of food, that's gonna be your better option just because it's later and later. Right? I mean, you know, the weight will go down once I consume it, but until then, it's fixed weight. Uh, Look at that, 16 ounces. This weighs a pound. Right? I might, might as well just do some. Look, everyone, I'm lifting weights. Although I'm probably burning more energy than I would get out of consuming this. But anyways, take care, Louise. Hey, ah, hey, come on. Hey, Holly. Hi, Vanessa. Nice to see you both again. Yeah, you must. Yeah, exactly. Freeze, freeze dried, dehydrated type of stuff. Yeah, you probably still need water because obviously the water's been removed, right? You might have to reconstitute the freeze dried stuff, probably, right? With water. And again, like I said, you don't need water, especially if you're dehydrated. Especially if you're dehydrated before eating some food, right? Because as soon as if you're consuming food without being more hydrated, you're probably don't feel even more dehydrated, right? Just because your system's pulling water from your body to help you digest that food, right? Enzymes, stuff like that. the acids in your body, that help break down the food, right? They need water, right? Because if you think about an acid, like our stomach acid still needs water part of it, right? Like it's concentrated, but it still needs some water, right? Some water to make it kind of flow through you, right? And obviously we're always excreting out liquids. Yeah, I'll say it like that. Excreting out liquids all the time, from time to time. Especially if you have coffee, for example, right? Yeah. Okay. That's cool, Vanessa. That's cool. Hold on a second. Just gotta double check something. Okay. Our operational security. Making sure I'm actually aware of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, this is just something, like I said, I'll put this back away, right? I mean, if necessary, right? There's two things I can do with it. I can consume it, or I can give it away to someone that might need it, like someone that's down on their luck, homeless or something like that. Hey, it would not be that bad. I mean, for what it is. I mean, if I mix it in with some tomatoes that I homegrown or whatever, that would not be so bad as a soup, right? That'd be filling. Give me some energy, food energy, the nutrition that I would need to keep on going, right? It's food energy equals that you can keep on going, right? Without that food energy, you're just gonna get more and more tired. You'll be like, you'll be like this. I'm just saying, right? You'll be wanting to take a nap all the time because you're like so tired. It's just like, I don't want to do anything, because you don't have enough food energy into. I mean, you're hydrated enough because you got more, but you could use more food energy to keep on going, especially if you're ex using a lot of food energy. Yeah. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Nice, nice, Hugo. Nice. Yeah, she already took off, by the way. Hold. Uh, I'm pretty sure you might. Well, I don't have this chat replay available for this, so the chat's only available while the stream's live. So now, another thing I'm going to talk about here is to go along with everything is where did I put it? Oh yeah. So sorry. I gotta get a snack. All this talk about food just randomly induced hunger pains to me. Yeah. Peanuts aren't so bad, as long as you don't have nut allergies, right? That wouldn't be so bad on the trail. Wouldn't be so bad if you had to get back home, right? Would not be so bad, right? This is something, obviously it's not have a shelf life because it's got natural oils in it, but this is food you don't have to heat up. I don't need to make a fire or a camp stove or something like that, heat up or use water to hydrate up. You know, Honestly, it's gonna give me some food energy, right? So that's why I'm having it right now. Yes. This bowl of peanuts was full. Was full like yesterday at this time. I kind of had a little bit more. Yeah. Because everyone was talking about food a lot. I had to snack on someone. Hey, look who did. Hey, Shannon. Pardon me for. I'm trying not to eat with not talk with my mouth full, but I appreciate you taking the time to drop by. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Hold on a sec. I need to switch out for my headset. Give me one sec. Well, yeah, I'll switch out. Yeah, there we go. All right. doing another mic check when I'm not using the headset. See, I'm taking them off. I gotta charge them out. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully, so give me a 5x5 over on the side chat if you can hear me, or a 1, whatever. An indication that you can still hear me well enough. Now I need to project into the phone a little bit more. I can't just walk away from the device. So I can project towards it. Yeah. Oh. We're gonna keep going on here. And about food too, right? Oh yeah. Why not? Why not? I'll show this again. Right. This ain't actually a food item. It's more of a plant, but yeah, something like that. But let's just pretend that's some sort of potato plant. I don't know, something along the lines of that, right? So that would be considered as food too, right? Because remember everyone, food, water, fuel, some sort of energy like power or whatever is a consumable. In time, it needs to be replenished. Well, in time, it always needs to be replenished. In time, because you're always using it up, right? Hence, it becomes a consumable, right? Because you would hear consumables in like the hiking community, right? Anything like the ultralight hikers that hike mountain areas and stuff like that, they'll have like a base weight, shelter elements, something along the line with stuff like that, and then they would have consumables, which includes fuel, water, and food, because as you consume them, the weight would go down for what it is, right? Like one of those gas canisters for a stove or something like that, water in a water bottle, food, no matter if it's something like freeze-dried stuff, dehydrated stuff, or some sort of common mix of nuts or trail mix or something like that. I don't know. Thanks, Hugo. Nice. Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Just gotta make sure. I gotta make sure my phone's still charging. So, another thing that can help you with the food. Now, it's not food itself, but some sort of seasoning. And I'll represent it with this salt shaker. Obviously, it could be pepper, it could be whatever seasoning you like, right? Just to kind of give blank, kind of less than tasteful food a little bit more. It tastes a little bit better. Obviously, it's not done as much nutrition value or anything, but it's all for taste, right? But if it's not, if you've been eating rice and beans for the last 3-4 days straight at every meal, yeah, something to vary up the taste might help. Just saying. And now I know this is not the most nutritious thing, yeah, and a lot of stuff, but some sort of ramen noodle, right? It doesn't too bad. I'm not saying it's great, everyone. I clearly am not saying it's great, right? It's obviously got high levels of sodium, right? I want some earth. I want some earth things in here. Yeah. 3-letter word that's in here that has sodium in here. Yeah, it's not the greatest thing to have. I mean, this is actually considered lightweight food for what it is. I was looking at a video, and yeah, this is more or less considered lightweight food for what it is. Not ultra lightweight or something like that. Something like freeze dried would clearly be more lighter weight, more energy per unit of grams or ounces. Let me put this there. But something like that, and if it's that, right? Sorry, these are spicy peanuts. Excuse me. Oof. Take care, Holly. Hopefully, all the best to your neighbor. By the way, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So something like that, right? So now, of course, some sort of fresh vegetables, fruits, and stuff like that is always good. But of course, these in its fresh state only go for so long, right? But you're going to get a lot of nutritional value from something like this for what it is, right? Obviously, if it's homegrown, maybe more organic, it's probably have a little bit more bang for its buck, right? It's going to have even more nutritional value, right? So something like that. It could be, well, not exactly this, but it could be seeds too, right? Something you roasted or something like that. Sunflower seeds you roasted or something along the lines of that. Pumpkin seeds that you roasted, for example, right? Something you grew in a garden, roasted, vacuum sealed, and put in a backpack. That's not too bad, right? That wouldn't be so bad because you could, as long as you can grow more of the plant, let's say sunflowers again, and be able to roast them again, you can replenish that kind of food in a bag if you had to use it, let's say to get it back home or everyday carry type of scenario, right? You can always replenish that because you have a way to replenish that, and you kind of know where it's coming from too. And let's just say if you have sunflower seeds in your bag with the shell, or even with just the kernel, it goes a lot faster than you think. It goes a lot faster than you think. Yeah. See this? I swear this will be gone by the end of the stream at this rate because I'm still talking about food. Oh, sorry, gotta check on something real quick. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I had to check outside real quickly. I'm actually getting some sun right now, and I need to be. Even though I'm alive right now, I gotta remember to be proactive, right? That's one of the things about being ready in advance, proactive, giving some stuff some forethought. I guess I can dive into this. Why not? I actually need to charge these up. Like some solar lights right here. Yeah, that's actually what I need to charge right now because since I'm actually getting some sunlight. I actually originally didn't actually set them outside because I was supposed to get chance of showers. However, I keep looking outside. I'm seeing more blue sky and less of this dark cloud that I saw earlier when I started the stream. So give me one moment. Just give me one moment. Talk amongst each other and share some stuff. And maybe I'll recharge the stream a little bit more with something more enlightening. Yeah, you know what I mean. And not only that, I'm back. But what I'm going to do here is actually, we're going to go for a little walk here, everyone. I'm going to make this a little bit more mobile. I didn't even find it quite like this. Let me bring up my side chat back up here. Why not? I'm still talking about food. Why not? Like I said, I'm not even joking. Come on, Kara. Seriously. I'm getting some sun right now. So, in terms of preparedness and resources and the environment, right? Well, I'm gonna use what Mother Nature is giving me right now, some sunshine, to charge up some solar lights here. And not only that, double check. Yes, see? Look, some water. Yeah, because water equals life. So, yeah. Because you don't get a garden without watering. That's for sure. I just had to come outside to double check on a few things. Share this too. Why not? Because technically this is edible. So, this is something I actually. It overwintered. So, I'll probably harvest some of it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll let it go to seed or something like that. I just need to double check this. Because I wasn't expecting to see this much sun today. Wasn't expecting it. So I need to actually do this. In spite of doing the live stream, I still need to actually do this. Or else, right? Like I say, sometimes, I'm not saying this stream's not important or anything like that, but it's still in a virtual type of environment. I gotta remember the real world. I still gotta remember the real world. Hence, I gotta do this stuff, or else I will not do it. I'll miss my opportunity. Because, yes, this does relate to food a little bit, because I'm actually bringing some plants outside to harden off. Because they're not in the ground yet. I'll bring one out to show you guys. Sneak peek on this, too. Yeah, see? Bringing this out. How does this relate to the P.R.E.P stream rate? Well, it's absorbing some solar energy from the environment, using the water from the environment, using some biological biomass from the environment that is turned into compost in time. And this relates to preparedness because this is going to be something I grow to harvest later as food. Okay, Hoka. So it's important, and that's why I'm doing it. I didn't even plan it this way. I swear. It's just like I look around, there's like the clouds just went around me. I'm like, yes. I'm gonna get some of the solar energy that I need in this area right now. Hold on a sec. I didn't bring my headset out. I gotta make sure I do this right away, or else I will not do this later. And yeah, and these plants definitely need some more solar energy. Hold on. Now, real quick here, I gotta bring this container out. Then I have some of these plants in. Excuse me. Oh, and by the way, everyone, if you haven't seen this other video I did about starting a sunflower, it's kind of in front of me right now. I would show you guys, but you'll have to wait for the update video on that because I still have to record it, and I still have to let the sunflower grow, and I still have to transplant it. That's for sure. Okay. Oh, great. And give some water. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to see this much sun. Like I said, I could see a clear cut shadow, so definitely strong enough for solar ignition, which also means that I needed to give this stuff some water while it's out here. So it doesn't dry out. It's the rate of evaporation is gonna be higher now with the sun out here, and I'm gonna take advantage of the solar energy that I'm getting to get some photosynthesis going for the plants and get these solar lights charging in the sun so I can bank some of this power for later. Alright. So on the environmental side of things, right? This is not just a not sure it's yeah. This is not just a preparedness thing, right? But I'm also doing this so I can harness solar energy and store it in a battery and use that energy to light up a space later on when it's darker out, right? And convert solar energy into some sort of chemical electrical energy in terms of batteries, and then use it to convert it into light that I can use later on, like in the washroom, if I really wanted to. Yes, then yeah, yeah. Let me just put my phone back down. Hopefully my headset will have no charge in for a little bit. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, not camera. Audio. One second. Audio. Response on the side chat. If you can hear me on that stuff, so yeah. It's like almost like I planned it this way. I actually didn't even plan it this way, by the way. Like I said, it was actually originally more cloudy when I started the stream, but I'm like, oh, but the sun's breaking out, and I need to do this. Doesn't matter if I'm doing other things, I need to do it because I need those plants to grow so I can have some sort of harvest later on, because I'm gonna give them plenty of time to absorb solar energy. Oh, and whatever. I just put something down and where is it? Sorry, just give me 1 second. I gotta pull something back out. I had to, I had to make sure I put that water filter back away here, or else I'll forget. That's the thing. I had to pull it out from somewhere else. I gotta make sure I put it back. So, in terms of preparedness, you know, if you don't, it's okay if you go use items right from a backpack or something like that, but try to put it back so it's ready to go once again, right? Because the last thing you need is something to happen and oops, I took it out of the bag and I forgot about it and I didn't put it back and I just took the bag out and I don't have that said item with me and now I can't use said resource to help me out. Yeah, that's probably not the way to start a journey, for lack of a better word. So I'll probably go into this top of the hour. Yeah, I'm probably till the top of the hour. I'll go to this 2 hour mark again. I gotta make sure I double check on a few things, especially since I'm getting some solar energy coming through once again. So I'm actively actually trying to do this while I'm doing this while just to show that I'm actually doing this, not just saying things, not just keyboard warrior or something like that, trying to actually grow some stuff, food, trying to store some water so I can use it later on, right? Like I said, water equals life. No coffee without food. No coffee without water. No iced tea without water. No electrolyte mix drink without water. No cleaning without water. No, none of that stuff without water. So definitely need that all. Man, these peanuts are tickling my throat because they're a little bit spicy right now. So, ooh, excuse me. Give me one sec. Gosh, hold on one sec. All right. So before the stream ends, I will show one more sneak peek on something. One more sneak peek on something, and we'll see who notices it. So if you're watching this, yeah, stay tuned. There is still something here. There is still something here. And apparently, I need to change my screen resolution orientation back around here. While I go through a few things here. Where did I put it? Let's go and see. Where did I put it? I thought in terms of resources, right? Because, anyways, I'll find it in a little bit. But people have asked me, right? I've gone this time and time again, right? You know, some people ask me again, right? Some some of my newer followers, right, that just showed up, just first time visiting the channel or whatever, right? If you're listening to this right now, this kind of sums up what I've said in the past, and it's some of everything, right? And this is why this start to introduce this P.R.E.P stream, and people wonder what I do on this channel, right? What do I do on this channel? Obviously, I've shown the creative side, right? But there's other things involved into this, right? For anyone that hasn't seen some of my older videos in terms of reusing stuff, right? That involves the resources and environment, right? Because I mean, I've shown stuff out there. I've shown the resources out there on the open landscape out there. You know, outside the metaphoric house door and stuff like that. And there's stuff out there, but unfortunately, the reason why I see that out there is because there's people litter, and unfortunately, I keep seeing it. Right? You know, seriously. Hold on a sec. Sorry. Hi, Howie. Hold on a sec. I swear, one always wants to call me when I like. Anyways, let's try that again. How are you doing, Howie? Hope you're doing well. I just showed a few things, Howie. You might have, if you rewind like about 10 minutes, you'll see them. Just a few things I showed. Like I said earlier, I mean, this is why I do certain things on the channel. I've shown things in the past, right? This is just kind of the P.R.E.P stream is kind of to bring it together as a stream, as a, as a stream content, right? And this is why when you look at not only the title of this type of stream, but the thumbnail, it kind of sums up what I do on this channel to a certain degree, right? And of course, it doesn't. All those words don't have CR in it, but it does represent what I do on this channel and what I'm trying to achieve on this channel. What it is, right? You know, the resources out there, right? This is why I show you. You will see me reclaiming, reusing a lot of stuff because the resources that we have available. I'm talking about all these resources, right? Wherever you are right now, in your home, at work, on the road, in your car, right? Look at all these resources. I'm not just talking about in general in terms of preparedness, like, oh, yeah, you mean the backpacks here. No, 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 beyond that, right? I'm talking about the natural stuff, the wood, the paper, the wool, the cotton, the more metallic stuff, steel, aluminum, the copper, the glass that's probably in your phone if you're using a smartphone, the copper that's in there to conduct the electricity, right? the charger you're using, right? The man-made synthetic stuff, right? Obviously plastic, right? And everything that involves all that stuff, right? Those resources right there are important to all of us to keep sets the system that we have, going, right? So in terms of gardening, for example, it's going to be that organic matter that you put back in the ground to feed the microbes that in turn will feed the plants that will in turn feed you with the food. Like if it was a tomato or something along, it could be a squash or something along the lines of that, right? To reintegrate the food thing that I said earlier. In terms of the metallic stuff, right? The copper that's used to transmit the power that we're getting, so to charge our phone, the battery banks that we have, the metals that are in there, right? And of course, I know not everyone wants to talk about plastic, but unfortunately, it is part of our life to a certain degree, right? Whether it be in our phone that we're using, laptop or whatever right now, right? The labels that some people use or that they reuse like a yogurt container to make a label with, you know, because I've seen people use yogurt plastic containers to make labels, wooden popsicles type of sticks to use as labels for like their garden stuff, right? And I know someone that has a metal version of that. All right. I mean, to me, I want to make a metal version just because it would last longer. And shout out to if they actually show up randomly. And if you know which channel I'm talking about, yeah, you know who I'm talking about because they grow food and plants, but it's no big deal if you don't know, right? We'll see who gets that reference right there. Oh, thanks, Sally. Welcome back, Hugo. It's all good. It's all good. I'll remember. I'll keep remembering the things that you showed us, right? Oh, I swear I didn't even read that. I just said yogurt like 2 seconds ago, and I'm like, oh, it's already on screen. Go figure. Oh, that's good. That's cool. Banana. Yeah, yeah. Right. And let's remember, our pets and such need some food and some water in time too, right? So it's important, right? Food, energy, and water is important for all life, all of us, and all our pets and everything in between that we interact with, right? The birds, the cows, the horses, the pigs, the chickens, regardless if it's on a farm, in your backyard, it doesn't matter if you're a homesteader or a farmer or a commercial farmer or some sort of urban garden type of thing, right? I mean, all that requires these type of the water input for sure. In terms of like fertilizer, you can think about it like food, right? If you think about basically fertilizer is food. It's a way to build up the cells in all these things, whether it be a plant, an animal, or us as humans, right? These things have to develop, reproduce, so life can keep on going in a very small peanut shell. Let's see, where am I at? Hey, that wouldn't be so rough, right, Howie? That wouldn't be so rough. Yeah, you like fish as fertilizer? I think people say that it can be stinky at times, right? And I mean, I've been hearing some other things about something like that, about fish fertilizer. I think I've read. I don't use it personally. However, from what I've been hearing about it, right? you gotta make sure you know where it's sourced from, right? Because you would think, oh, that's stuff sourced from the stuff that we can't eat or use, some everything else that's not a fillet, right? And that's not always true. Sometimes it's sourced out from the ocean, from something smaller fish, right? So you gotta factor that in terms of on the environmental side, right? Yes, it's how you feed the soil to feed the plants to feed you, right? But where is that ultimately coming from, right? Can that be sustained for a long period of time, right? Or are we gonna see? I thought I came out here to into the ocean to see the whales and the dolphins. And the fish? Where are they? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think I have. You know what? That reminds me. I have buried fish before. That was a long time ago, though. So long ago that it's like that was a long time ago. Let's just say really long time ago. I can't believe I'm remembering that now. Actually, just because the way you brought that up, I was like, yeah, that's been a really long time since I thought of something like that. Yeah, from plant to plate, from plant to plate to person. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see, where am I at here? Probably another 15 minutes or so. Like I said, I'll go into the top of the hour, so that'll be 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Because I know, well, two things. Because I've been talking about food so much now that I'm starting to induce hunger pains. I'm craving some food now. Because you guys are writing it too, and I'm just like, I'm actually starting to get a little hungry from talking about this important resource of food too, right? I just Yeah, it's starting to. I kind of want some anyways. Really? That's really cool, Hugo. Awesome, CB. Yeah, yeah. I did. I should. I was. I should have ate before the stream started. I started the stream, but I was kind of rushing it, and I'm just like, I had to go do something, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It just reminds me how important food is, right? Sometimes you don't, without that important resource of food, you don't think clearly. You don't have the energy to keep that these metabolic functions up, right? I mean, I have a high metabolic rate, so this is why, this is actually why, everyone, you guys sometimes make me hungry on your side chats, in the side chat, or you talking about, or you showed on video, right? Right? Or as I said to Howie once, right? That looks really delicious, right? Oh, Howie's probably like, ah, CR, you just said that again. Yeah, yeah. Of course I'm gonna remember that. It just wrote itself like it said. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know anyone personally with some, but I know some people have them. Ah, great. I just got up and I just dropped something. Hold on one sec. Remember how I just said that it was sunny out? I feel like I just clouded back over again real quick. Just gotta make sure it's not. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's gonna rain before I end the stream, so this is why you saw me like rush outside to make sure to give some of my plants. I'm trying to harden off some of the solar whites at least a little bit of time in the sun. Because, like again, like I said earlier, even solar energy is a resource to us, right? And all of us rely on solar energy. It's like, see, I don't have any solar lights. No, 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 no. The plants rely on solar energy, everyone, right? For photosynthesis, and that in turn feed uh, us either directly or indirectly. But either way, we still need in time some solar energy, right? Because nothing goes that much longer without solar energy. It's almost even more important than the water, right? We can go a little bit longer without solar energy in terms of, but we do need it too, right? So, yeah, okay, that's really cool, Howie. Oh, okay, okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind, right? And if you think about it on an environmental type of thing, right? In terms of food and all that stuff, right? What's one of the words I like to use? Recover. Not just because it's got CR in it, but it sounds better than the word rot. Because I never enjoyed the word. I never learned it as rot. I know some of those other channels out there there'll be like the 4, 5, 6 hours out there, right? Right. And I'm like, I never enjoyed the word rot. It just sounded not exactly what I want. I because when I learned it, I always learned it as recover, not rot. But basically, it means generally like composting and stuff like that. But that can include like chop and drop, using worms along the lines of that. So instead of throwing it into a landfill, this food waste, you recover that potential energy in that food still because there's still energy in that food. Resources like nitrogen, maybe some other minerals and elements like potassium, phosphorus, depends on the food, right? And even in small amounts, we just gotta wait for it to get kind of broken away from the food. So in time, the plants that we have in the fields, in our gardens, blah blah, blah can use that and be able to recover that resource and be able to reuse it, and which in turn can feed either the livestock, pets, or ourselves, right? And that's why I also do it too, because I realize that if I'm dropping, let's say, a banana peel or something, well, let's just say something along the lines of that, right? You know, that banana peel is indirectly don't feed me. Not today, not tomorrow, not next month, right? But in time, that banana peel will feed me. I just have to wait for Mother Nature, specifically the microbes, among some other insects, to break it down, convert it into something, extrude it back out, let the plants come take it back up, and they're kind of um, symbiotic type of relationship from the microbes and the roots and the plant, and in turn, not necessarily grow in turn, but maybe it will help me indirectly put that banana into a plant like a tomato plant. Maybe in the form of potassium, for example. You know. So this is why I also am been doing it a lot more because to me it just makes sense. And on the preparedness side it makes sense. On the environmental side it makes sense for it. And it's yeah, in terms of resources, it's just like, yeah, I'm reclaiming, reusing, recovering that resource, right? Yes, there's gonna be a lot of re's in here. I mean, I'm probably re-saying a lot of stuff, but it is important to remember. Oh, look at that! Hey, look, Ellie, she's back. She's back. Lisa came back. Yeah. In the month, the secret garden with all the fairies is open, and I asked my friend a day is working out. Oh, okay, okay, you're talking to her. But yeah, that's why when I see not only see people growing stuff, right, but reclaiming resources to help facilitate that or propagate that, right? I'd be like, oh, awesome, right? That's awesome. Where am I at? I feel like I want to go longer. I feel like I want to go longer with this stream now. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I did. I wasn't actually trying to plan to go longer than 2 hours for this stream, but I don't know. Maybe or maybe I'll go a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm not gonna go that much longer though, because I need to do a few things, and I gotta make sure it doesn't randomly rain on me while I'm inside. Because I got some stuff outside right now. Yeah, I don't want to get totally wet. Because it's sitting in a cardboard box, and I don't want to get the cardboard box wet. But I'm still hoping to actually get rain, just for the simple fact that you know it will it'll water the ground, and hopefully and stuff like that. And like I said, water is absolutely important for all of us, right? And all that stuff. Well, that's interesting, Alex. That's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Uh, oops. I don't know why I selected that. I gotta remember that. I think I will. I need to go back into settings and change something too. Apparently. Oh, that's interesting. Birds coming into the secret garden sure is a lot of fun. Oh, okay. Well, you're definitely getting the wildlife to come back, right? Add some s- spirit in your area, right? Not just some life in your area, right? Not just inorganic stuff like a building, a piece of metal, you know, stuff like that. A sign or some plastic, right? You're getting some indirectly organic stuff. Obviously, birds coming into the area, and it's nice to see too, right? I know when I sometimes when I go outside and I see them, I'm like, oh, right, because it's life, right? There's something about that, right? And of course, some birds, some insects, and all that stuff are can help us in a garden scenarios, right? Obviously, we got the pollinators out there, obviously bees, but obviously wasps, airplane insects help with that too, right? So interacting that kind of stuff can be quite beneficial, right, to our gardens and to our place, to our areas around, right? It's not all the flowers self pollinate, right? Some of them have to be pollinated by insects or birds, so tracking them is always good, right? Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool, that's cool. I'm just picturing something right now, right? How he just holds out his hand, there's a fly in his hand, like some epic epic moment that you would might see in a movie, but in real life, it's a seeds in my hand. They just come to my hand. It's like, that'd be really cool, right? To interact with wildlife like that on a more natural setting, right? You know, that'd be kind of cool. Where am I at here? I gotta take a look. Sorry. Once again, for some reason, all that I swore. Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit more cloudy out. I don't know. Maybe I might cut the stream in the next 5 minutes here just so I can make sure I take care of this stuff, just in case it actually does rain. Like I said, I'm making sure when it does rain, I'm using every drop of, well, at least most of the drops of it as much as possible. Because I know I'll relate this into the part of the P.R.E.P stream, right? Because and just because both Lisa and Howie are here, right? I know you guys are familiar on the permaculture side. I know how he is, right? Because one of the things I've read and seen is that, you know, they always talk about water most of the time too, right? You know, I, s- I feel I feel like I'm just gonna swell up with all this 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 talk about it. You see how I worked that in? You see how I worked that in? Swell, right? Oh, I meant swale. But yeah, because I've been looking at that a little bit more. I've tried to apply it in a small scale, right, for what I have, right? Because obviously some of these swales are really, really large. But I figured maybe I can apply this even in a small scale for what it is, right? And try to keep the water on the land, in the soil, in the ground longer as much as possible, right? I'm not saying, it's never gonna get released or I'm holding it back indefinitely. No, no, no. I'm just when it's soaked into the ground, as some of those people say that do um, permanent agriculture, right? Right? And stuff like that. They talk about that. I look at this stuff by the way, right? Trying to get understanding it and stuff like that. There's what's his name? Jeff Walton? No, Layton. Anyways, it starts with a G, not with a J. You know, and stuff like that. He's kind of more at the face of it nowadays, right? But also he's learned what's his name? Bill Mollus? I think that's his name, right, Holly? Yeah. Bill Mollus was his teacher, or you know, up, he was just an apprentice, or learned everything from him, right? Back then, I was just like, nowadays we're all looking at these other people that learned from him and so forth. It's just like, oh, right. So I've been trying to understand that, right, and that relationship between people and the environment, right, as much as possible. You got a lot of be. Oh, you've been busy. I see. That's cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. And apparently my headset's dying. So maybe that is a sign here. All right. So this is gonna be a 2 minute warning here on the live. This live. Yeah. 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 Exact. Molison. Molison, yeah. Sorry. Sometimes the names don't always come to me. Unless I start saying them all the time, right? I was never good at pronouncing things that I don't use in terms of words or names, so sometimes I butchered names or words at times until I start saying it or hearing it more often than yeah, yeah, I've heard the name. I think I've even seen pictures, but and stuff like that. But I'm not that old, so I just knew the more current generation of people doing it and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen so much out there. It always motivates me. I'm like, if they can do it there, I can do it here in some degree or fashion, right? Trying to improve this natural environment that I have, or at least what I have available at the time, right? So obviously gardening and stuff like that. It's gotten me back into it a lot more as I reconnect into the ground and get my hands dirty out there a little bit more. Oh wow, 400. Hey look, Howie and Lisa. Peace Journey's here. Hi. Good afternoon to you too. Nice to see, nice to see you around. Yes, like I said. See, you showed this earlier. Just an indoor plant I have. Howie's probably like, yeah, I know what that is. You guys probably know what this is. I probably don't even have to explain it, but let me put this back before I drop it or do something silly like that. Right? And I think I know how I'm gonna end this stream here. I'm gonna end the stream in a few minutes here. So you just caught me right on time, Peace Journey. Yeah. It's going so. Nice to see you. Like I said, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Remember how I just showed you guys earlier? Look at the sky now. Look, it could totally clouded over. And I just showed you guys sun earlier. There was blue sky. That's how fast the weather changed here. So I gotta make sure I adapt to this and stuff like that. If there is a chance of showers, and I do have things outside, and they're sitting in a cardboard box, and I don't want to get the cardboard box wet. All right, and I don't need the solar lights totally getting drenched because I have no idea if it would pour. It smells nice outside. I'll show you guys this too. Why not? I showed it on my air. Yeah, exactly. See, see, I sort of got some Mayflowers, guys, sort of, for what it is. Let's see what that say. Yeah, exactly. Storm's coming. Yeah, or there's a potential for it. There's like a 30% chance, but I'm just trying to see if it how much it's building up in terms of like the structure of it. So it may pass, but I'm not 100% sure. Right? That's why I was just like I was kind of I thought it would have been more cloudy out today. So when I saw the sun out here, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta try to get some of the solar energy into the plants. A little bit more. That's solar energy. A lot more. You need some green for a sec. Ah, okay. Oh, so yeah, I'll go for a couple more minutes or at least. Like I said, I'm still trying to grow some stuff. I'm catching up some to you. Remember, I live inland more, and technically, you guys probably live in a higher growing zone, technically, a more temperate climate. So, I'm slowly catching up. I mean, I'll show you guys this. Why not? I'll I'll show this. Why not? Oh yeah, that's real, everyone. This is not CGI. That's not a green screen. This is nature's green screen. Straight up. Hmm. I'm actually surprised how well this is turning out. Actually, right now, I gotta make sure I don't go too far away from my Wi-Fi, or else when the signal will start to break, and I won't realize that starting to lag behind here. Well, you'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see what that is, Lisa. Right? I gotta make sure I sprout some interest on the stream, but I also have to make sure at least to show later on. So you guys want to come back, right? Well, we gotta make sure my audience wants to come back and see something, right? So I'll leave you guys with a cliffhanger of suspense and be like, but yeah, what is that? But you'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see when it's a little bit bigger and amongst some other things. Amongst some other things I have. Amongst some other things I have. Well, hey, little sunflower, you're doing so well. Oh. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah. I gotta put this. Oops. I gotta put this back in here and check on this too. Oops. Oh, that was really close. I almost tipped the container. I went to lift up the box and it was like tipping over. Oops, that was really close. But it almost smashed. The edge, the edge of the container almost smashed into the uh, stalk of the sunflower. That would have been bad. That's not how I want to start the day. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Yeah, see, I wasn't kidding. Look, I'll show you guys straight up on the ground. Look. I bet you can sort of see that. It's starting to spit already right now. So this is why I had to do this right away. All right, even though I'm on live, but it just happens to be I'm talking about on a P.R.E.P stream, so it relates into what I've been talking about in terms of water, right? Like you could see my solar lights right here are starting to couple drips on them, so I'm just gonna bring them back and I'm just gonna. These don't have an on and off switch, so I just have to disengage the battery. But I need to make sure that I bring them back. And these are water resistant, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to put them out here if it starts pouring, right? Because that's the thing. I don't know if it would actually randomly start pouring. It's not supposed to, but then again, I've seen 10%. Oh, it's a 10% chance of showers. I go for a walk, and next thing I know, it's like starting to pour. I'm like, huh, 10% might as well have been 100%. So I gotta make sure I bring them back, these back in, just so I don't have issues with them. I gotta make sure this resource keeps going for me. It's a very useful resource, these solar lights. They help me in multiple reasons and all that stuff. Hey, I'm not going on a tangent. It's still relatable. It's still relatable, Lisa. I'm just saying, it's still relatable to what I'm talking about. Just a little bit different. It wasn't quite what I had in mind for this stream, but then again, this is more realistic in terms of what I'm doing. A little bit more realistic of a way of doing it, right? So I'm like, you know what? Why not? Like I said, I didn't even. I was actually trying. I was gonna do. I was gonna do more show and tell, but it ended up me just doing something that I have to do in the real world. Seriously. I like how the battery just slipped right out of the battery compartment right when I did that. All I hear is like, no. Okay, let me put this back here. Sorry. You need a vacation piece to me. I work at garden. I take days off and I garden. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Where am I at? All right. Well, officially, no. I'm gonna go into Discord. Yeah, I'll go for a little bit longer. I just have to clean things up before I do anything, anyways. I was gonna show some other things, but they're kind of more on the survivalism side, the type of equation of things. But oh, I can show them next time, or there, or in a different video or stream. Items I actually showed in the previous live stream. A late night with CR. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, everyone, for anyone that hasn't seen my springtime prep work, and how he knows what it is. Oops, turn on camera. Hmm. Yeah, I know how he. You're still there. I know you remember what this is, right? Because you guys already said the words earlier in the stream, or someone did. I forget who exactly said it, but yeah, it's still there. It's still there. It's still there. I'm working on the next batch for the fall, by the way. Yeah, see, if I wait on it long enough, I'll see some awesome night come by. I mean, how's it going, Dave? How are you doing, man? Yeah. Remember what I said about recovering stuff? Resources? Yeah, this will help later. I was just eventually, yeah, yeah. Featured, yeah. It's a fine. You're sprouting some interest. I think Lisa's been hanging around me too long. She's starting to like she's starting to like grow on me here. It sounded funnier in my head. I swear I did. I swear it sounded funnier in my head. But yeah, it's just something I have. I'm working on this still, like I said. I have videos on it. I have previous videos on the channel about it that go into a little bit more detail. But let's just say, feed the plant, feed the soil, feed the microbes to feed the soil to feed the plants to in turn feed us, right? Or the wildlife, right? And all that stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate all the people that came by, gave some input, heard me out. Maybe I went on a tangent or slightly different direction, slightly into the real world, slightly gave a sneak peek, slightly showed some sun, and then randomly showed some clouds. But like I said, this is the real environment, right? Just because we're in this virtual space, all right, we gotta remember the real world too, right? Things that really happen for us, right? You know, and we gotta do stuff. I know some people had to slip out of the stream early because things happening, right? You know, because their wildlife, their pets, or what they're raising, right? Or they're helping people out, right? I get that, right? Because that's important, right? I would never say, "Oh, I'm mad at you because you left my stream to go help someone out or check on someone." No, no, no. I'd be like, "Oh, check on them," right? That's more important, right? I'll still be here, hopefully, when you come back, but I'll still be here, right? Because you guys are important too, right? You people are awesome too, in your own way, right? So remember, everyone, try to use our resources the best you can out there. Recover the said resources, right? And if you have an abundant source of said resource, try to, you know, convert it into something else, right? You have excess water, maybe try to get it into some plants, right? So they can use it, right? You have some gray water from a shower, for example, because you had to wait for it to warm up or whatever. Use that. And remember, that's gonna be gray water, but it is clean, right? Use it for something else. Water your plants with it, right? Your indoor plants with it. Water your tomato plants with it, right? That way, that resource of water, which is really important, by the way, for all of us, doesn't go to waste, and it doesn't just kind of go out of the shower head, back it down the drain again, without doing anything at all, right? Well, Howie, I'm ending the stream right away here, so yes, yeah. Feed plants just talking about that with a neighbor. Yeah, that's why I supplement my growing medium before. Oh, okay. You know, I just had something to say now. I just feel like I just lost that, left my forehead here. But yeah, go do all that stuff. I mean, like, and reuse the stuff. I mean, like, look, I'm using these coffee grounds, right? I had some coffee with me. It's helped me out. Now it's gonna help the soil out, which in turn will help the microbes out, which in turn will help the plants out, which in turn will come back towards me again in form of, I don't know, sunflower seeds, a tomato plant, or squash, or something along the lines of that, and maybe help the bug. Obviously, it's not help the bugs out there. Maybe help the pollinators out there because they can see the flowers of said plant, or whatever it is, right? And keep that circle, yes, CR word, circle going a little bit longer, right? And where all these things just come together like it was always meant to be. Yeah, well, Dave, you ain't the only one. You must be really Canadian like that. Anyways, everyone, I appreciate everyone dropping by on the stream. Let's see. Well, I don't even have the link right now, and I'm actually going to be exiting the stream right away here. So I do appreciate everyone dropping by here. And like always, everyone go do something awesome out there, right? Things are. I'm actually gonna say it. I won't actually show it on screen, but I'll show it on screen after. But things are changing out there, right? But we still got some time to adapt to it, deal with, do something about it, right? Do something in the present, right? And let's try to make things better out there, right? And try to improve things where you can, right? Try to be more proactive out there and do stuff. Just do stuff, right? And remember, water is important, just like the food, right? That way you can have some coffee with that with that water if you want to, and do these other things if you want, right? Enjoy it. Enjoy the modern day things, but remember that the resources that went evolve into all that, right? You know, and try to reuse stuff as much as possible. Keep it in the system, going around, helping not just us, the people, but the animals, the wildlife, the soil, the microbes out there, and all that stuff, right? Because in turn, that stuff can come back around and help us again, such as fertilizer. And like always, try to help someone when you can. I know you can't help everyone out there, but you can help someone out there. Anyways, everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the week. Hopefully, you get some sun, some rain, balance of both. And until the next time, I'll catch you all next time, people. Stay proactive. Later, everyone. Take care. And thanks for dropping by.